Great morning, everybody. Grand Rising. It's good to have everybody in the building. I'm Glenn P. Brooks Jr. This is the morning show, Real Lessons in Life and Business. Had a really, really good night's sleep. I just unfortunately woke up still sleepy. Got into bed on time, got 8 hours in. I don't know, can you oversleep? Is that a thing? I think it had something to do with what Cherie slipped in my water last night. Yeah, y'all, since my stomach has been hurting a little bit over the last couple of days, Cherie has been having me one concoction after another to drink this, drink this, drink it up. I'm like, I don't need the Marine in my life. You got to nurture me with care, for crying out loud. Chef Yvonne, I mean, y'all know how y'all get.
Hello, good morning, how you doing with the movie? Welcome to the future, I'm the captain of the cool kids. The revolution's never been televised. Great booty, better thighs, I ain't gonna tell her. Let's go. Tell her, can I give her one? Never tell her lie.
If you're not tuned into KBCN TV, now's a good time to do it. Make sure y'all jump over, check us out on YouTube. Good to see everybody, whether you're tuning in by way of LinkedIn, Facebook, Clubhouse. Let's go.
Catch me in the wee hours of the night when y'all sleep in a fast car, super bad broads back seat. That's me, see nothing nice. A couple nights to the moon, say goodbye in the sun, greeting us like hello.
Do me a favor, put it in the chat. What city, what state are you tuned in from? Where are you viewing us or listening to us from? Also put it in the chat if you can here on Clubhouse. What is the temperature in your neck of the woods? It's 72 degrees in Washington, D.C. What up, Nona? So for those people that are following me, I get it, Nona. You are getting the notices. That hasn't changed. Good. Clubhouse has so many new rules that they've recently rolled out, y'all. I'm confused. I have no idea how to find people in the hallways these days. Nona's saying that the hallway is confusing now because the rooms are mixed in with chats. Yeah, I don't know. Good to see you in the building, Terry. Chef Yvonne checking in from Orlando, or Lando as we like to call it. Let's go. Hello. I see you, Chef Yvonne. Good morning. I'm feeling better. Rocky just pulled up. Hey. It's 3 minutes after the hour. Come on, break it down. Let's go.
Bad boy. Let's work. Come on, let's work. Don't stop. Let's work. It's that dirty money. How fly is he? Your baby mama cry.
Your girl over there cutting up, Rocky. You see her?
So how you not
just cutting up for no reason?
Club in the coldest V.
Just because it's Tech Thursday, ain't no reason to be cutting up.
Did he know how to did he flow?
Hey, let's
did he go so hard like a crowbar?
Get ready to run around the room and find out how everybody's evening was. Come on, y'all. Put it in the chat. What city, what state are you chiming in from? Come on.
Boyfriend feeling like a groupie. You know, we don't stay like this, looking like a movie.
If you tuned in by way of KBCN TV, checking us out on YouTube, LinkedIn, or either Facebook, can you say something in the chat so that we know you're there? You know. This is such a passive medium. I never have any idea who's watching. Not in real time anyway.
Good morning. Hello.
Hey, let's get it. Great morning, everybody. Cherie, what is Winnie the Pooh doing? What is he doing, Cherie? What is he doing?
I don't know. Good morning. Good morning, everybody. How's everybody doing today? It's almost Friday.
Rocky, this is what happened when her flamingo gets a little outside the cage, and we're trying to figure out, do we want to put that flamingo back in the cage? You know?
No, I need the flamingo out today. My week has been weeking.
I was wondering if Friday even mattered when you're an entrepreneur.
That part, I don't think so. I do it more for the 9-to-5ers, to be really honest with you, Rock, and my educators, because it does matter in that world. It does matter.
Yeah, for me, like all the days run together. I don't think there's like a. I used to be happy for Friday because I knew I was off Saturday and Sunday, but I work all week long, 24/7, 365. So Fridays are like, okay, that's cool.
Yeah, Fridays and Mondays, they the same day for me. But I remember when I was driving the school bus, Rocky, I did not realize it was the first Friday that I drove a school bus. I was immersed into a world of people. I mean, like hundreds of them. When I talk about hundreds, I'm talking about the students, the faculty. Friday was like a Super Bowl day. Like people was cutting up. Their attitudes was different. By the time you picked up them kids in the afternoon on a Friday, girl, what? Folks was like, see you later. I am out. I'm going to get 2 days break from y'all. No, it was a whole thing. And so for those 2 years that I did that, man, I was like, this is different. Because like you know, most of my life, I've been either in a place where, you know, the job I did was like 24/7, or I was an entrepreneur. And so, yeah, it's the whole thing. Anybody in that industry where Fridays is actually a day, put me in the chat. Like, is that an actual day, or are we tripping? Come on, Sheree.
Rocky just bust my whole bubble. I was trying to be excited, and now I'm like, womp, womp, womp.
I'm mad that sound. I'm mad that you actually mimicked that sound effect pretty closely.
Womp, womp, womp.
Oh my goodness. Rocky ain't saying nothing. Look, she's got the jack-o'-lantern up there. Oh my God. Speaking of jack-o'-lantern, why did we have a FaceTime with the grandbabies, y'all? And these jokers got their Halloween decorations going up, and September ain't even over yet. And I'm saying, here we go. Here we freaking go. You get what I'm saying? Listen, how many of y'all you got the deck? All right. For my decoration view, that's what we're gonna. The question of the day is, when is it safe? When is it appropriate to put decorations up for the next season? Because you know, you got people putting up Halloween decorations now, before October is even. I'm thinking 30 days out is plenty. 30 days out is plenty. What's the appropriate time frame for you to be able to put out decorations for the following season? Can somebody help me out, Rocky? What say you, Rock?
I'm sorry, I'm in Wawa's listening to the YMCA right now.
Oh,
I'll be back.
Anyway, what are we gonna do with her? Anyway, y'all, let me say this. We're gonna run around the room real quick. We're gonna check in with you guys, and I just want to let y'all know it's Thursday. That's why Rocky burst your bubble. Sheree, we going back to why your face all broke up, Sheree? What's the problem?
It's too mellow. You had it up. I need up music.
This is not up enough.
No, that's too mellow. I need like some T.I., something.
I'm not talking to Sheree. Listen, is this up enough for you? This is a daggone shame. I knew that anything DC is gonna get her good. Look, y'all, we got to vibe out for a minute. If y'all not on KBC and TV looking at this one right here, she just went to the go-go.
You can't see me. Hey, Chucky B, let them know what I used to say. I was never not in my days, never changed my ways.
I love it, guys. We're gonna get started in a second. I promise. It's real lessons in life and business. How was your evening last night? Put it in the chat. Put it in the chat. I love it. I see you, Karen, checking in from Charlotte. What's up?
I was driving in my car one day.
Hey.
I saw a sexy lady walk my way.
Come on.
A banging body and a pretty face.
What?
So I whispered in her ear and said,
Chuck.
I really love your style and your dress.
Hey.
Yo, I love to see your pretty face in my show.
Let's get it. Shout out to the Godfather of Go-Go. Let's go.
I said she heard I was a crazy guy.
Let's go.
Hit and run the Georgie poetry ties.
Hey, y'all don't know nothing about that.
Make them cry.
Hey.
I told her don't believe the hype, cause I'm cool. cool. Enough of
Y'all do me a favor if you can invite somebody to the room.
you mind?
Today we're going to be talking about animated AI. Rocky is going to be helping us and educating us as soon as she get out of the Wawa. Yeah, I put you on blast, Rocky. Let's go. Hey, that ain't cool. Listen. Great morning, everybody. Grand Rising. So the question of the day is, how early is too early to put up decorations for the next season? I'm thinking 30 days out max. That's good. Like, so on September 30th, you should be putting up Halloween stuff, right? Not on September 1st. That's just inappropriate to me. Anybody want to put it in the chat? What say you? Come on, talk to me. Nona says when the season is over, Halloween decorations shouldn't be up in September. That part.
To play so hard to get.
Christmas decorations shouldn't be up before Thanksgiving. That part.
Ain't Julie?
Well, my issue is more so not when they come up, but when they go down. Because like Christmas decorations should not still be up in February. I'm sorry, people.
No, that rule still applies. Like you got a couple of weeks after the fact. It's just, we got some violence. Is that right? You said what, Rock? It was Rocky. Was that Rocky? Come on, Rocky.
Rocky, you in the Matrix or something? We can't hear you.
She in the country.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, we can now.
It was switching to Bluetooth. Sorry. I was saying when I lived in my before I moved in with my mom, I had this big old house, so I felt like I needed a big old Christmas tree. So we got a 7-foot Christmas tree, and didn't nobody ever want to help me take it down. So the Christmas tree became a Valentine's Day tree, became a St. Patrick's Day tree, became a birthday tree, into a Thanksgiving.
No,
It
you
was a
didn't.
year-round tree.
No, but the thing with that, because you changed the decorations, so that's okay. But when people keep them decorated for Christmas all year, I don't want to see your flashing lights, your red, green, and white all year long. That's not appropriate, as my granddaughter would say. It's not appropriate.
I mean, what if
Go
they
ahead,
leave it up but they just don't turn it on? Like, what if it's up
Lord
because
Jesus.
it's hard to take them down and put them back up again? So what if they leave them like decorated around the house, but they just don't turn it on?
Nah.
But when you have guests come over the house, they're gonna see the Christmas tree.
And they're gonna see the decorations up with them out turned on. That's inappropriate, Rocky. Rocky
Just the
over there.
light, not the decoration.
She said just the lights, not the decorations.
If your lights are white, that's fine.
And for all the single mothers out there that do it alone, we ain't finna take down.
I was a
decorations.
single mother too, Rocky.
Listen.
I'm talking for the single mothers around my age.
Oh Lord. When she was a single mother, she was around your age, Rock.
Trips to Florida, ordered the
Rocky, let's just be honest. You just don't feel like it. It ain't got nothing to do with the single mother. And that's okay.
I had people help me. I had to have people help me hang the lights and put the tree up, and then I didn't have the help no more, so they
That's
stayed
what it
up.
was. They left you by yourself. And that's what happens when you leave folks to yourself, which begs the question, and we're going to talk about this today, the power of community. How has community helped you leverage your way to your next? Let's talk about that today on the morning show. And then we're going to get into some tech once Rocky gets settled and now that she got her lights up.
So, Rocky, the solution to that is you just stop putting them up. Because I stopped decorating after a while. I was like, I'm not decorating. Ain't nobody helping me. I'm just not going to put no decorations up.
Yeah, I remember that day.
Yeah, so I feel you. So I had a pastor really quick. I know. Coach done turned the music up, so he's trying to switch topics. But I had a pastor when I was in Japan, and they would invite us over for Thanksgiving, huge dinner. As soon as the dinner was over, it was our job to put up the Christmas decorations. So that's why she had the huge Thanksgiving dinner, because we had to
That is
help her put
brilliant.
up the Christmas decorations.
Did she have you guys back over in January to help take them down now?
Here, hey, look. Every year I'm gonna have a huge Thanksgiving dinner and a huge New Year's Eve throwdown, New Year's Day brunch. Cause guess what? After brunch, y'all taking them lights down. Oh my gosh, this is crazy. Well, as I am sipping on my pineapple and papaya juice, because I'm trying to wean myself off of coffee, because as we wind down to 100 days of execution, I've got some things I need to accomplish in the next 100 days. And, you know, waking up and being super addicted to coffee ain't going to help me get there. So I'm working on some things. It's just me. I ain't pushing this on nobody else. But yeah, and it ain't fun. So let's get ready to get this party started. So put it in the chat for me, Sheree, so I don't forget. The question of the day. The question of the day is, how has the power of community helped you? And I'm particularly talking to those people who have been able to leverage their next thing within the confines of community. And when I describe the word community, what I'm talking about, and I was listening to George Hawkins this morning, very, very end of his Wake Up with the Word. He does a morning devotional every day on Facebook. If you guys ever want to be inspired, go over and follow him. But he has a topic that he's talking about, and for about 30 minutes he goes in. I caught the tail end of it, and he was talking about community. He was talking about particularly the prodigal son and how his father held out for him, right? His father kept the door open, if you will. And when you're in a good community, even when you mess up, a good community will always receive you back. They always receive you back, because at this particular point, they understand that, you know, but by the grace of God, go I, you know, especially when you make a change and you make an adjustment and you grow up and you do the work and you do what needs to be done, they'll welcome you back. I can tell you, for me, I've built an entire multi-six-figure business on the backs of relationships, period. I recently talked to a client of mine who's throwing a gala for the 20th anniversary of their business. And she was talking to me about how she's been able to move 250 tickets, and her tickets are tables, right? Tables of people that like are 10 to a table on the backs of 20 years worth of relationships. Didn't do any social media whatsoever. That is unique. Most people can't do that. And the reason why is because most people's communities don't run that deep. So the question really that I want to pose, and I want to talk about this from a leveraging standpoint, how have you leveled up because of your community? That's probably a better way to put it. How have you leveled up because of your community? If you guys are in the audience and you want to jump up on stage, today is your day. I would love to have you up for a second. I think the raise hand features may be off so that you can raise your hand. If they're not, let's get that worked out, guys, so that we can get a few people up. And let's talk about that. Let's talk about how have you leveled up because of your community. I think that that's incredibly important. Sheree, you're doing a lot of movement. I wanted to go to you. Let me know when you're ready. Rocky, are you in a position where you can chime in on that? Talk to me, Rock.
Yeah, if you don't mind, Max over here making all this noise.
Max,
So for me, I think the only thing I was missing at the time was community. So I was surrounded by a bunch of great people, a bunch of great business individuals, but I didn't have the structure of support that I needed in order to, have people, I guess, to tell me, yes, that's a good idea. No, that's a bad idea. This is what you need to do. Or even just people rooting you on and cheering you on. That part was missing, and I was very isolated because no one in my local area understood what I was trying to do, especially, me coming back from the Army and not being the same Rashida or Rocky that I used to be. So me having a community helped me to just be emotionally stable and be supported in my business. And also when you're connected to a community, because I have a great community now, you have other aspects that you can reach out to that you don't understand. So like in my community now, I have Favor, who does search engine optimization, another young lady, Atandra, she does funnels. So I have access to a lot of things that I can, seek help on without having to go outside, outside the people that I really don't know and trust right away.
I love that. I love that. Sheree, you want to chime in on that?
Yeah, I know for me, and I love your answer, Rocky. For me, the power of community has helped me because it helped me to not have to be superwoman. Because I had other people that I could that were in my community that could help me in certain areas, that could step in, that could take things off my plate, that helped me to learn how to delegate, pointing me in other directions, so that I didn't have to do things by myself, helped me learn to automate certain things. So I wasn't doing everything. So it added value to me personally, as well as professionally, because it helped to alleviate a lot of stress because I was carrying the weight of everything on my own shoulders, trying to do everything myself. But in community, I was able to find new solutions to problems that in many cases meant I didn't have to do it myself. But even then, the things that I still had to do myself, I learned an easier way to do it. So I learned how to work smarter and not harder because of community, because I was able to get outside of my head and get perspective from other people, to help me to develop game plans on how to get things done, and also for the emotional and the relational support. Because oftentimes, especially as entrepreneurs, we're doing this thing by ourselves, and so a lot of the stresses, a lot of the things that come with that, we carry that, we hold it in. If you don't have anybody to talk to, if you're not in a community with other like-minded people that you can share some of your struggles with, you can share some of your frustrations with, you just bottle that stuff in, and that's not good for you health-wise. And so it just helped me to be able to have a place to release, that I can be vulnerable. I can be my authentic self, my goofy, crazy self, within my community, and there's no judgment. And that's why I think it's key when you do find a community, it has to be a safe community, a place that you can be your authentic self, you can be accepted as you are, and there's mutual respect with everybody in the community.
Listen, we put it in the chat, guys. The question of the day today really is, how has the power of community help you? Put it in the chat. I really want to hear from you. You've been in a community. I don't care what kind of community it is, but it's helped you on some level. I know for us, relationally, we've always, Sheree and I, grown in community. We've never done our relationship outside of a specific relationship community designed to fortify and strengthen our relationship. And when it had to get to the place to where when we got to the place where those communities no longer existed because we moved from one city to another, we wind up creating them. And that's how the MAPS Relationship Academy came about. It really was to create and foster a community like the ones we had been a part of for so many years, because we knew that relationships go to die outside of community. I don't care who you are. I don't care how bad you are. You cannot live life and grow in a silo. It's not possible. Tomorrow, I think we're going to talk a lot about that on Face It Friday, Sheree, how we constructed that, why it's important to find yourself in community. But for today, we're going to try and keep it in the business lane a little bit. How has business communities helped you grow? Rocky talked about having access. Y'all, I'm going to tell you right now, Rocky, that's the thing for me. When I started out on this entrepreneurship journey 8 years ago, you guys, I'd never started a business before. Quite frankly, I didn't want to start a business. I backed my way into starting the business that we're doing out of crisis, to be quite frank. It was me moving from one city to another and recognizing I need to feed my family. I want to do something I'm passionate about, but I'm not sure if anybody's going to actually pay me to do this unless I have a counseling degree, unless I have a doctorate in this or that or the third. So what would it look like for me to build a business around the books that I've already been writing, the workshops that I've already been doing, and the talks that I had already been getting paid for? Could I build a business model to support that so that I could do that full time? And hence, we built Glenn P. Brooks Jr. LLC. Well, one of the things that benefited me significantly was about a year into that, I hired a coach that had an amazing community of people who were already doing what I was trying to do. And so the access, Rocky, was crazy because I needed to know, how do I book speaking engagements? How do I get on more stages? How did you do that? And when you're in a community with people who've been there and done that and not afraid to share that, it changes everything, y'all. It changes everything. I want to know from you, put it in the chat, how has community leveraged you up? And ladies, if you guys have anything to chime in on this, I don't want to hog the mic. Just let me know and click the mic up or wave me down. Come on, Sheree.
Yeah, another thing is you're talking, I'm thinking that it's in community that collaborations are born. It's being in the room with other people, because if you stay to yourself and you're not in a community, you don't get to make those connections with other people to be able to collaborate on certain things, to find out other places that you can add value, people that can add value to what it is that you're doing, and that you can build those relationships. Relationships are built in community. You don't just by osmosis build a relationship with a person. It happens. You have to be able to meet people. And it's funny. And I don't know, my mind just keeps going relationships. But I remember like we had a singles community in our relationship academy for about two years. And one of the things that a lot of the singles, we had to stress, a lot of them, you know, they want to one day get married. They want to one day meet a person, but they weren't, if you stay home, you go to work and come home every day, where are you going to meet a person? You have to get out in community. You have to find a place to be able to meet people, to be able to connect with them. And I think that even in business, we can get so busy in the doing of our business that we're not getting out and about in community, going to community events for business leaders, whatever, to connect with other business people, or getting in a business community with other, like I said, like-minded people that you can connect with in order to develop those relationships to then have collaborations.
Yeah, I think that Sheree, what you said about that is huge. And I want to stay right there with that. A lot of times when you are an entrepreneur, for instance, and Rocky said this earlier, it's an incredibly lonely journey in a lot of ways. And the reason is because, you know, in many cases, you don't have an example within your family or within the close network of people that you have that are doing this. Most of the people that you know are very similar to you. They are 9-to-5ers. They have maybe they're employees of a big company that you work for. Maybe they are people that you go to church with, but not always are the people. And this is why I want to stress this. You're not a part of a community that's doing something that you want to do. So I'll give you a quick example. Chef Yvonne, are you in a community of chefs? Not calling you out. I'm just asking the question. Are you in a community of like-minded and more so like-valued people who prepare food for a living, and they do it on various levels, whether it's a private chef, whether they are restaurateurs, whether they are cooks in the kitchen and they do YouTube and maybe they write recipe books? Like, are you in a thriving community of people that look like you and what you want to do? That's just an example. And so for me, and that's why I'm stressing this, a lot of people will say, well, yeah, my church is my community. Yeah, but are they your community for your business? Or they may say, oh, my family is my support. Yeah, but have they built a 6-figure, 7-figure, 8-figure business? And can they help you navigate that? That's what I'm talking about. And I just think that a lot of times we close the door on getting outside because for whatever reason, we're stuck in our minds that either A, I'm not going to pay that, B, I don't want to be dealing with people, C, I don't want folk in my business. Like, there's a bunch of reasons. And I really think that we're losing significantly because we don't embrace that. Sheree, you want to jump on?
Yeah. And to that, I just want to add this, and that doesn't just apply to entrepreneurs and business owners. Even when I worked a 9-to-5, I worked for social services. I was a part of an organization where we would have, you know, quarterly meetings where we would a networking session where you could get together with other people in the same industry. And that's also where opportunities are found, because you could be talking to somebody, you develop relationships with people, they'd be like, oh, we got an opening over here. This might be something you interest you. But if you're not in those communities, a lot of times you'll miss out on those things because you just don't know about them. I wanted to go to the chat real quick as well. So Travis Michelle Mallard put, community has held me accountable for myself and to my business. The relationships are life bonding. Community has pushed me out of my comfort zone. Lynette Jackson also put networking, knowledge, sharing, skill development, mentorship, access to resources, validation, and feedback. And the last good one, market exposure are just a few things that I look for in community.
See, Lynette, I needed you up on stage because I'm telling you right now, I'm struggling to get a conversation going. And I'm thinking maybe, just maybe, it's foreign to many. Maybe this is an indication that this is somewhat foreign. Maybe you guys are just sitting back and listening saying, wow, I never thought about that. I never considered that. That has not been on my radar. George Hawkins just popped in. I think that he might be viewing us by way of Facebook. George, this conversation I'm having is motivated by the last 5 minutes I caught from your broadcast this morning. I'll be really honest with you. I had no idea what direction I really wanted to go in. And the truth of the matter is, when you said that, something leaped in my spirit, man, when you said that the prodigal son was only able to come back. This is what I heard. You may not have said it this way. The only reason why the prodigal son could come back is because there was a place prepared for him to come back. I need y'all to understand this. Cherie and I, as we have built communities over the years, I never want to be the community that ostracizes people forever, that throws people out, throw them away, and discard them. Now, if you leave the community for whatever reason, I want to always create a space where you feel like you could come back. Now, that may take some humbling on your part. That may take you changing on some areas, because that, quite frankly, might have been the reason why you left, because for whatever reason, we were not seeing eye to eye. Maybe there's some adjustments I need to make. But at any rate, what I'm willing to do is I'm willing to say, you know what? There is a place that's been prepared for you, and you're always welcome to come home. Let's have that conversation. And I think, Lynette, one of the things that a lot of people are not willing to do is they're not willing to be self-aware enough to recognize, where did I go wrong? Was this community healthy for me at one point? And if so, why did I leave? And if I need to come back, will I do that? And I just think that for all the laundry list of things you put up, community is incredibly valuable, and particularly as an entrepreneur. I'm going to say this last thing and I'll shut up, Lynette. I am still in community with my coach. I still pay him. I'm still on the hook in his community for a lot. He can tap me at any moment. Now, I don't show up daily because I'm busy building an entire business over here, but I'm still very, very connected. Why? Because I need him. Now, I may only need to call him 3 or 4 times a year in terms of where I'm going and what I'm trying to do. But when I call, he can pick up that phone. When I call, he texts me back. I always want to be available for people who still trying to grow in community. Come on, Lynette, what you got, girl? It's good to have you on stage.
Hey, good morning, everybody. This was really so good because, Glenn, as you know, I'm even writing about this, and in my new book that's coming out, God, hopefully this month. You know how it is when you're trying to publish something. But
Yes.
These were things that were super important to me to be a part of a community. And I think when these things no longer service me, I start looking for those other things, because I always need to be a part of a community that I can network. I can do knowledge sharing, skill development. Mentorship is super, super, super important. And access to resources, validation, and feedback. My God. If you cannot have anyone to give you some validation and or feedback that will help you grow your business. And here's some other things: boosting confidence, market exposure, and job opportunities. And then also personal growth. That's really important. So I've always looked at this community to be able to give me these things at some time or another. Now, they are at different times, because I didn't all start off with, skill development, knowledge sharing, even network. I learned how to network in this community. I learned how to do market share and skill development. I learned the importance of collaboration through this community. But I think that it goes 2 ways. We have to make sure that we're constantly evaluating, swatting ourselves as leaders to ensure that we haven't changed too much in our vision, mission, purpose. And if we have, how is that helping to grow the community and move it forward? And so it's really important. One of the things that I am trying to help people who are trying to build communities, as you know, I work with a lot of churches. And I have been just banging, trying to make sure that my pastors and my leaders know and understand that you got to check in, that you've got to make sure you check the pulse of your community to make sure that things are going well. Because we are in a society at times, and this is where I find a lot in my clients, and this is something that I talk about, is about how we pick the chicken. Like, you ever seen a carcass of a chicken that's been picked and picked and picked and picked because you just keep eating that piece and eating, and you are the one receiving, but the person isn't receiving anything. And then when they look out in their congregations, they see dry bones and they see picked carcasses, because we are only asking for them to do something for us. And it's a two-way street. It's a partnership. You need something from the community, and the community needs to give something back to you. And I see a lot of times that it can be one-sided. I can say with this community, you know, my schedule has gotten crazy and busy, and listen, that's a good thing. However, when I'm able to come back into this and pop into this community, I am welcomed with open arms always. And so I really feel great. Glenn, you gave me a beautiful recommendation, and, you know, in my book. And so I look at you guys as being, you know, great friends, and I will always be able to pop in, but I always feel welcome. And I think that's really important. I yield the mic.
You know, I'm going to say something on that, Lynette. One of the things that I learned, particularly, I'm going to stay in that church lane for a second. I experienced growing up in church, churches hanging on to certain scriptures, and they would wield them to benefit the local church, that particular local church, not the local church as in the body of Christ. Here's one of the things that I recognized that was awfully damning and damaging, and that was principles in scripture, when it's taken out of context and wielded for your benefit, cripple people. And a lot of times as pastors and leaders, and I'm not throwing any one organization under the bus, but I am saying, blanketly speaking, we got to be really careful that when we move on from people, that we don't move on from people and it winds up breaking them to the point that where they can't get themselves repaired. I think that toxic faith issue is real. And unfortunately, when you started talking about picking a chicken to the point to where there's nothing but bones left, I remember as a kid, you know, if your parents or somebody come out and say, listen, it's over. Like, give me that plate. I know it was good, and I know you're trying to get the last juices out of this thing, but it's over already. It's better that you get, you know, another plate of food. The challenge is that when that relationship is one-sided and you discard people any old kind of way, you leave those dry bones that they would not live again. And then unfortunately, you get a chance to see those people in life. And I have seen those people again in life, and it's broken my heart to see where they end up. The darkness is in their eyes, the life that's not in their world anymore, because they have been just discarded. And so I just want to encourage you guys that if you are not a part of a thriving and a healthy community, and I will say this, you know, I am working hard to consistently grow a healthy community. You know, I think about the MAPS Relationship Academy. They will be 7 years old as a community this coming January. They're going to celebrate with us at our 25th wedding anniversary vow renewal here in Panama. A whole community of people, y'all, that have been rocking with us for 7 years. That's different. And it's all online. Let me just say that again. This ain't even a community that meets us face to face other than in online places and spaces. So in this day and age, do me a favor, look long and hard at where are the healthy communities. Alicia, I appreciate what you said. And I think that that's so important, that the best communities make it easy to return after an absence. And to your point, I'll shut up, Lynette, to your point, one of the things you'll never hear me say is where you been. First of all, it's none of my business, because you would have told me that. Second of all, it really doesn't matter because you're here now. You know what you'll always hear me say? God, I missed you. Now, you may hear it because of your insecurities as where you've been, but I legit mean, I used to say that to my kids on my school bus when they would not be here for a couple days. And I remember a high schooler saying, creepy. I'm like, God, she's broken. Where do you not get to see people when you do not get to see people love on you because they're grateful to see you again, you're dealing with an unhealthy community. And I'm telling you right now, that's a problem. So I know I've been on a rant a little bit, but I am passionate about that. George, if you're still watching us, thank you, sir, for just pricking my heart this morning and what you shared. And it just leaped in me to say, we got to talk about that. And I think that, it is crazy important. If your survival as an entrepreneur and a business owner, if you're going to thrive as a business leader, you're going to have community. Lynette, you're clipping it up.
Yeah, I just want to say this, and I just want to make it super, super clear. We raise our children in our homes, and we don't raise them to stay in our homes all the time. And so people we have to grow them. We have to grow them. So they're going to grow and leave the community, but they should always be feeling welcome to come back. I think when you were on my podcast, you did my very first podcast, right? And I deemed you the pastor of business. And I look at that, Glenn, as the ability to be able to take people and nurture them and build them and to help them understand their one thing. I never heard about the one thing. I'm going to be real honest with you and candid with you guys today. I never heard about the one thing until I started coming into this community, until I started, hanging out and understanding and learning. However, I have taken that now and I'm actually helping other people. So what you have put in us as a community, you should have gotten something great out of it so that you can now move forward and go out and change the world. What I receive, I take that and I go change 15,000 other people. And somebody from there goes change 50,000 people and so forth and so on. So it is important to make sure that, some of those things that I made comments in the chat, that if you're building a community that you can do this, people are going to leave, but they always feel like they can come back because as their business evolves and grows and as their ministry evolves and grows, there are different needs. I'm not sure if she is still in. She's in here, Dr. Joyce. I'm telling you, I started in this community. I'm in her community. She's a mentor for me. But I'm going to tell you something. My voice is growing. My whole countenance is growing because the next phase of who I am and who I was and am and will be as a woman and a woman of God and a business and ministry leader has now come through her. It doesn't mean that I will never be back into this community because, hey, I learned a lot of things from this community and I'm grateful for this community. And so we will have other communities, but I have grown. I met so many people. As a matter of fact, I met Sean Venable in this community. And then as a result of meeting Sean in this community, I met Dr. Joyce in this community. So, keep up the good work, keep your head up. It is all good.
No, my head is so far up right now, Lynette. I've got to check myself for pride sometimes. Girl, let me tell you what you're hearing. You're hearing me express my gratefulness. My gratefulness for people who are willing to come, grow, leave, and keep growing. Yes. Because we created our community to launch people. It's not an accident that you met all those people, because had I not started bootstrapping, you may not have. I'm very aware of that. I'm very aware that we're a catalyst of connecting people to people to people. That's why I'm on this earth. That is my job. That is my calling in life, is to connect people. So when you say, if it wasn't for this, I wouldn't have, there are a ton of you guys in this room right now. I don't know Rocky if it's not for social media. There are people who I'm connected to that rises and falls on the fact that I connected to Rocky. Well, I don't know Rocky if I don't create this space. So I attracted Rocky so that I could grow her and then connect to others through her. That's purposeful. I do that on purpose. That is very strategic for me. We've got so many things coming up this year, guys. You guys have got to stay tuned. And we're going to switch gears right now and go to Tech Thursday. Rocky is in position. Give me a thumbs up, Rock, when you ready to go, because I know that you got a lot on your plate today. And my iPad didn't get charged last night. Somebody forgot to charge it up. And my music is struggling. So I need to get this thing going so I can play your theme music, Rocky. Listen, hey, y'all checked out Coach Prime lately. He got folks walking around talking about play my theme music. You get what I'm saying? No, guys, if you're just tuning in, great morning, Grand Rising. Good to have you along for the ride. Super excited to have y'all here. This is the morning show, real lessons in life and business. I'm Glenn P. Brooks Jr., and this is the morning show. Here's what I want you to do. If you can, really quickly, stay tuned, because coming up next is Tech Thursday Social with Rocky. Let's go. Every Thursday, right around this time, we turn the tide and we go to Tech Thursday with Rocky. Rocky is our social expert. She's everything digital, social media. She's going to help you navigate the world of animated AI today. Put your hands together for Rocky.
All right. Hey, you guys. So we're going to learn how to animate your AI characters. All right. So what this is, and I know you may have seen it before, is creating an AI character and having them actually talk and speak. I'm sorry, my nose is tickling. It's been doing that all morning. To talk and speak to the screen. So what I need, if Coach Glenn or Coach Sharif, you guys can put the YouTube link in the chat. Whenever there's Tech Thursday, please tune in to KBCN Media by way of YouTube, Facebook, wherever you are, because everything is going to be a screen share so that you can see what it is that I'm doing. Okay. So I'll wait for them to share the link in the chat. Animated AI has allowed for so many creators to get over the fear of not showing their face. Not only that, they're able to go viral because this is something that is new. This is something that is trending, and it is taking off if it's done correctly. I myself have used it. I'm going to show you 2 videos in which I have created animated AI for myself, and that I'm able to talk through my AI character who looks a lot like me so that I can, show up on camera even when I don't feel like it. So I'm going to, last week, actually it was a couple of weeks ago probably, where I showed you how you can, mimic yourself by way of Discord and Midjourney. Okay, so if you have Midjourney, if you're familiar with Midjourney, or if you can just go to YouTube and figure out how you can bring in a photo of yourself and create an AI generated character of yourself that is facing the screen. Okay, that is the first step. I'm not going to teach you how to do that. That is a whole nother tutorial. So I'm going to show you a video. In the video, first of all, I'm going to show you the character that I created. Let me share my screen. And we're going to get into what this website is. Can you guys see my screen, Coach Sheree or Coach Glenn?
Yes, we can see it.
All right. So I have a couple of characters. This is Rocky Jr. And Rocky Jr. is pink. She has the tattoos. Unfortunately, she does not have the piercings, but I've created her as well as created her through AI, as well as created her. Now, does she or does she not look like me when I have my blonde wig? They even
yes, she does. It's scary. Yes, she does.
They even got me down to where I dyed the roots so that it's more natural to the scalp. My ladies that know anything about that. So these are the 3 AI characters that I've created. Now, allow me to show you the videos that I've created using these AI generated individuals. And I'm going to walk you through and teach you how you can do this. All right. So this is the first video. I'm going to play the video all the way through. because this is a promotion that I currently have. I'm currently going to run a YouTube video on this as well as an Instagram ad on this. I have a content creation boot camp that is coming up. And on the landing page, I have created a video with her because, you know, I wanted to do something a little bit different. I very well could have showed up on the screen and taught, teach, talk, and train. But I was like, let me just put this script together and then I can just put it out there. She can say what she needs to say, and then we can move on with our lives, and I can just continue to creating. And it's so much faster too with the way that I'm going to show you guys. All right, so allow me to play this video for you. Hopefully you can hear it. Let me see.
Can't hear it, Rocky.
Can't hear it? Okay, hold on. Let me see. I probably got to play it through my computer. I don't know how sound plays through this, but I'm going to need the sound. All right, let me know if you can hear it. Are you struggling to create content that attracts your ideal clients?
It's low, but I can hear it if you can turn it up.
I'm trying to figure out how do I play it through my Rodecaster, because I have to. Y'all have to hear the sound. Hold on. Let me figure out. Let me figure out Melon real fast. Sound is important for this training. All right. Well, if anything, share system audio. Boom. Look at me. Teching on a Tech Thursday. All right. Let me know now, Cherie, if you can hear. Let me cut this off. And I have, you guys, it's so interesting how when you have a bigger studio equipment, the things you have to do in order to make things work. All right, let me know if you can hear.
Hours creating content that doesn't convert. If you answered yes to
What'd you say, Cherie?
Yes, we can hear her.
Okay, I can't hear her, but all right, here we go.
Are you struggling to create content that attracts your ideal clients? Do you find yourself spending hours creating content that doesn't convert? If you answered yes to either of those questions, then this bootcamp is for you. Over the course of 3 days from October 11th to the 13th, we'll cover everything you need to know to create content that attracts your ideal clients and converts them into paying customers. We'll start by discussing.
Right, so I'm not going to play her all the way through, but what are your thoughts on Rocky Jr. the second? This is the second. What are your thoughts on Rocky Jr. the second and animated AI? What'd you say?
I said she cute.
Oh. Yes, she is cute.
So cute.
Awesome. And then here is the second ad that I did. Actually, my friend Atandra, she did the same thing. She, as you can see, she's talking on her ad right here. All right, so as I go down, this is the next one that I have created as an Instagram reel.
I stopped worrying about the algorithm. That's when I started seeing growth. Here's the truth. You are the algorithm. The algorithm is data-driven, and we feed it the data. Now there is a system component to it, of course, but for the most part, you can fix your issues in just a few steps. How to get the algorithm to love you one. Your account must be focused on one niche. Too many different pieces of content will confuse the algorithm. Don't mix personal with business too much. If you're a health page, stick to health. If you are a car page, stick to cars. And yes, this includes
that's the
leaving
next
your
video. So on the first video, that was actually my voice coming through. On the second video, that was an AI generated voice coming through. So Coach Glenn, Coach Cherie, Lynette, anyone in the comment section, what are your thoughts?
I love it. I saw that one when you posted it, and I'm like, I need to know how to do that.
Of course you do. You're like,
I want to know how to do it. It's so cute. I love the tattoos.
Yes. So I don't have a full tattoo set like she does, but but I do. I did try to make her exactly like myself. All right. So what we're gonna do, and I'm gonna close these out, so that I can talk you through this. All right. So what this is an app called studio.did.com. If you just put in DID .com, it allows you to create animated AI characters. Now, as you go in here, there are already AI characters that you can select. There's some for free and there's some under the premium. Okay, so you have them here and you can select them, or you can create your own and upload. This is another young lady that I uploaded, but I have a list, but she has like a super lisp. So I was like, I'm not gonna use her. But you can generate a character, like you can create it yourself, which is kind of creepy, or you can choose something that's already there, or you can upload. So I still choose to upload. Now on the right hand side, there is an area for the script. Okay, so if you know what it is that you want to advertise or what it is that you want to do, all you need to do is go into ChatGPT. If you have the AI PRM extension, then just put in video script and you should come up with a prompt. If not, you can just say, create me a video script for, okay, and then just do it that way. Okay, so it'll ask you, what do you want your video script to be about, so on and so forth. So all I have to do is type in, I am having a content creation boot camp. Okay, it is $27. You see, $27. Use the AIDA, use the AIDA to get people to enroll. The boot camp is October 11th through the 13th. All right, so I'm gonna click enter and it's gonna give me the script. Okay, so this is a YouTube script, so it might be very long. I shouldn't have made it that big. Okay, but I'm gonna get the meat and potatoes out of this. Okay, and then I'm just going to put it in here. Okay, so I'm just gonna use this top part here. So let me stop generating. Are you struggling with creating compelling content? Okay, so then I'm going to stop here. All right, so I'm just going to use this. So I'm going to copy this out of ChatGPT. I'm going to pop the script in here. Okay, now with this, I usually put 3 dots in the front so that there is a second pause before getting started. Sometimes you may need to do this and you may not need to do this. It's not always the case. You definitely want to put spaces after the punctuation so it's not a complete run-on sentence, and you can use AI in this and can have them continue writing it for you if you would like. So I selected the AI button and it's going to finish writing it for me. Okay, so no text return, that's completely fine. Now as you go down here, I'll move my camera, it says, how do I want her to sound? Do I want her to sound like Jenny? Do I want her to sound like Emily? All these different voices. Okay, now the free voices you can hear, it'll give you a little example of how they sound. I'm going to choose Amber. Okay. And style, you can type in a style as well. Okay. So if you're using the AI generated voice, then you simply would select generate video and it is going to generate the video for you. Okay. And this takes a little minute. Not too long. Now this is you can do this for free. They give you a certain amount of credits once a month, or you can do the paid. I do the paid because I fully intend on using this on a regular basis, and they give you credits as well. Okay, and that is with you using the AI voice. All right. Oh, I just got the text from Christine. All right, so here we go. It is created. So I'm going to open it up. Hit the play button. Play it for you.
Are you struggling with creating compelling content? Do you find it hard to stand out in the saturated world of digital media? If so, I've got some fantastic news for you. We're hosting an exclusive content creation bootcamp from October 11th to 13th, designed to supercharge your creative skills and set you on the path to success.
That doesn't sound like you, Rocky.
I can't hear it, so I don't know what she sounds like.
She sounds very, very light. Very, very.
Hold on, let me see if I take the sound off of this, if it's double sound. If it double feeds, let me know.
Are you struggling with creating compelling content?
Is it double echo? Hold on.
Do you find it hard to stand out in the saturated world of digital media? If so, I've got some fantastic news for you. We're hosting an exclusive content creation bootcamp from October 11th to 13th.
Yeah, she sounded a little sweet. That is definitely not me. So once you get this video open, you have
Are
the
you
ability
struggling
to
with creating
download it, share it out, however you want to do it. Okay. So I download it immediately and then I put the captions in there because captions are best. As you can see, she opens and closes her
compelling
eyes, which is pretty
content?
cool.
Do you
Like a
find it
regular
hard to
person. All right, so this is that part of it. All right, so now say, for example, you don't want to use that sweet little girl voice. All right, you can go over to another app called 11 Labs. 11 Labs has a huge voice library that you can go into. Okay, it has a voice lab, a voice library, etc. So where you can hear other voices and then use their voices.
I'm not interested in age. I'm not interested in age. People who tell me their age are silly. You're as old as you feel.
And I like to look for a melanated name. Let's see what Belinda sounds like.
Men are disturbed not by things, but by the
she's
view which they
Australian.
take of them.
But it says it here: old African male, young Indian male, middle-aged American male, Tamika, old American female.
I believe that we are fundamentally the same and have the same basic potential.
I like Tamika.
Tamika sound saucy, don't she? So if I wanted to use Tamika, I would just select Tamika. But she's already added, so I already selected Tamika. So clearly I liked her already. Now, if you want to have your voice, okay, you can add a voice in here, okay, and it will use your voice, all right? Or if you don't want to use I'm sorry, this is only if you want to use the voices. So here's the two voices I selected if I don't want to use my voice, okay? This is it going to play? I'm not going to play it right now. But anyway, I've used Tamika and I've used, I forgot the other girl's name. One's a young mother and one's a young African female. So I didn't use Tamika. So you can add them here and then you will put in, when you put use, you will put in the script that you want. Once you hit generate, and I don't want to generate it because I don't want to use all my credits. But once you hit generate, it'll give you a downloadable media file. You will take this downloadable media audio file, and then when you create your video for the next time, you will upload the audio here where you select audio. Okay. And it'll say upload your own voice. All right. So you will upload your own voice here with the 11 Labs, or you can go to Audible, okay? Because I went into Audible and I record, like I try to record all my podcasts and stuff in Audible. I go into Audible, record what I wanted to record, and then I upload it. And that's how I got the voice in my own to go to my AI generated character. Because once you upload the voice, you don't need the script, okay? You just upload your voice, you hit generate, and then it'll just put it all together for you. So those are two examples, one without my voice and then one with my voice. So that is actually the skin of it. That's pretty much it, you guys. So I will pass it back to Coach Glenn for any of your questions.
And I don't know what Coach Glenn disappeared to.
He's not there.
No. Okay. So, all right. So anybody with any questions? And I got feedback. Hold on. James, do me a favor, take Glenn off camera real quick.
It's me.
No, it's Glenn's mic is open. So yeah, I still got feedback. So Rocky, carry on for a minute. Let me fix this on this end.
I think it's
James, go to just Rocky real quick. Thank you.
All right, there we go. So yeah, it might have, well, I don't know. All right. So anyway, so pretty much you guys, you can use this AI generated character for your reels. You can use her for YouTube. But what I will say is consider the fact that people still want to see you. Okay. So if you can make the AI character as close to you as possible, then let me know. Now, if you need me to walk you through this, I do charge a fee because it's time out of my hands. But if you do need me to help you to put this whole thing together, shoot me a DM on Instagram, not on this weird Clubhouse chat because I'm still trying to find my way. But if you shoot me a DM on Instagram for a small fee, we can sit down and I can create this character for you, give you the tutorial, etc., so that you can do this for your own business. All right. So if you have any questions or any thoughts, please raise your hands, come to the stage. That way I can answer those questions for you. Go ahead, Lynette. I think everyone else left.
Rocky, thank you so much. You are always such a wealth of knowledge, and I'm just so grateful to even knowing you and being in this community with you. And so it's really cool. So you started off pretty much with just doing the AI generated videos and then moving on to other, I guess, getting into deeper. So you can definitely upload your own voice into that. I think that probably is good because even if they're not seeing you or they seeing you in an AI generated face, they're hearing your voice. And so like Cherie was saying, your voice is really so unique. So we like to hear your voice. But I see the fun part in it. I think it's really, really cool. And I'm going to DM you because I want some more information. I yield.
Awesome. Yes. And I love the fact that it's my voice, but I like to make it as close as possible. I literally took a picture off of my Facebook because I know I love my blonde wigs. Literally took a picture off my Facebook, put it into Midjourney, and then got an AI created. Now the harder part was in Midjourney trying to get to write it out to where she's facing the camera, because you want them to face the camera so that they're talking to people, right? Because I had one where she was like facing behind me, but her head was turned around. So AI is still not perfect, you guys. So you're gonna have to play around with this thing. And again, I can help you build it if you need assistance in building it. So it's DID, studio.did. But if you just put in DID AI or DID AI characters, that'll come up. And then 11 Labs is the other one. So 11 Labs is cool. Just one more thing, other people have, and again, I'm not a huge fan of this, but other people have used 11 Labs to do their podcast, because all you have to do is get ChatGPT to do you a script, put that on there, and it does the whole podcast for you. And you're really not even on here talking. So it is a way to be lazy. And the only reason I share this is because it's working. Like as a marketer, I'm not a fan of this. I feel like it should be 1000% you, but there are people on YouTube, people on Instagram getting millions, you guys, not little money. They're getting millions because they're using these AI generated tools to pump out the videos consistently. And if you're really good with your video editing, you can blow it out the water. So I'm actually thinking of starting a brand new channel for just tips, Instagram tips, tricks, etc. with my AI character. So yeah, I'm interested in that. Coach Glenn, Coach Cherie, are you back? Or am I running the show?
Okay. Yeah, we're back.
Listen, they do it to me all the time, Rock. Today I had a bunch of things I needed to take care of real quick, mainly getting this music together. But I was listening to you while away. One of the things that I think that needs to be really underscored is this stuff is here. It's changing and it's not going backwards. So the question doesn't become whether I or not I use it. It's how do I use it? How do I leverage this? Because the other part of it is that you can't get around. AI is creating a way for you to be in many places at the same time without you having to literally be there at the same time. So, you take it however you want, but I'm going to leverage this. I'm a fan of showing up as authentically me, but when I can't, I'm also a fan of sending someone who can be authentically me. And we're going to figure it out. Tech Thursday every week right here on the morning show. Rocky always killing the game. It's 7:08, 8 minutes after 7 o'clock, Rock. I don't know how much time you have to hang out for a little bit, but
I can hang.
Y'all, what do you guys think about this, Rocky? Let's talk about the practicality of some of this stuff, Rock. And I know, when Rocky gets to nerding out and creating content like this, y'all, sometimes, and I'm just going to speak for me, it can become overwhelming because for you, you're thinking, oh my God, like I could never be good enough to do that. When I saw you did a session for the MMC a couple of weeks ago, right? And you taught them Midjourney, in essence, how to navigate it, how to do that. Cherie literally spent the next few days, hours upon time, sitting at her computer, playing with this and trying to figure it out. Here's what I know about most people. You don't have that kind of time. And the thought of that blows you out the water. And you're like, I'm not doing that. That'll be a pass for me. Not because you don't want to know it or how to do it. You literally don't have that kind of time. Let's have that conversation because Rocky mentioned something, and I hope y'all heard this. And I need y'all to get past the fact that there's a feeder attached to it. But this is where you need a who, not a how. Y'all know how I've been able to scale my business exponentially? Like You hear the term that the government prints money. I've created opportunities in our business where I can almost print money. It's crazy. And I'm sitting here saying to myself, this ain't right. But it's adding value and it's transforming people's lives. And so if I decide I'm going to create, and this is unbeknownst to y'all, half y'all don't even know this because I don't talk about this here because that ain't the purpose of the show. But the truth of the matter is your boy is out here in these streets printing money because I ain't everywhere all the time because I know how to recruit who's, not hows. Rocky is a who for some of y'all. She's not a how. Listen, let me say this. Many of you guys are spending time trying to learn how to do something so that you can do it for yourself. Cherie, you remember that time, and you can chime in and pick this up. And Rocky, I need y'all to help me unpack this. Cherie, you said one time, and I was about to lose my mind because I was trying to figure out Excel spreadsheet. Rocky, I was the guy that if you give me an Excel spreadsheet, I'm fine until one of them daggone figures get off and it recalculates the whole thing. And then I'm dead in the water because I don't know how to create the thing from scratch. Cherie said something to me, changed my life. This was 20 years ago, y'all, I swear. She said, here's the problem, babe. You are trying to learn something that took me 20 years to master. Give me that and I'll figure it out for you and I'll give it back. She was working on a document that I needed for my job because she had mastered that. Lynette, I never touched an Excel spreadsheet since then. But I promise you, those that knew it, oh, they saw me. I'm like, where's the invoice? Because I'm going to pay you to get this thing worked out because listen. So I'm passionate about this, y'all, because I watch you have great businesses that are not growing. You're not scaling them. You're more overwhelmed than you've ever been before. Cherie and I are going to be introducing some things to some of you guys, and some of y'all will get it, on what does it look like to live liberated and stop being a slave to your entrepreneur because you the boss and now you a slave to everything. Come on, y'all, help me unpack this. Does that make sense, Rock? Come on, Cherie.
Yeah, I wanted to, sorry. I wanted to go back to something that you said when you were talking about, just in general, talking about tech. I think a lot of times you were talking about how that day Rocky did the first thing on AI and how I spent the next couple of days really delving into it. I think a lot of times we have to overcome our fear of things that we don't know. I was famous for saying, I don't do social media. That's Glenn's thing. I don't mess with it. I don't touch it. I have a Facebook account. I have an IG account, but it's just there. And if you go back and look at my feeds, you could tell I never used to post. It was like really random and had no reason or rhyme to it. I would just post every now and then because I was really intimidated by it. I'm a tech person from the back side of stuff, but I wasn't a tech person from that side. And so this has opened me up to be willing to explore things. And for me, because I have a creative side, this I'm gonna go old school. This is my jam. So I love this type of stuff. I like anything creative. And so it's got my creative juices going, but I'm willing to learn something new. And the thing is, AI is here. It's not going anywhere. The truth of the matter, it's been here for a very long time. We just didn't know it. It's been going on in the background of a lot of things for a very long time. It just was not available for public consumption until recently, where we can actually utilize the stuff. Know that they've been using this technology for years, but we're just getting access to it. And in order to stay relevant, no matter what your business is, you're going to have to learn how to integrate this into your business at some point and see how it's feasible, how it's going to work for what it is that you do. But embrace it. Be willing to learn something new. You may not use it to this full potential. You may not use it, completely this way, but you're going to have to integrate it at some point into your business.
Rock, come on through.
Coach, I know the struggle. I had learned that Excel did all of that in medical school, which is really weird because I had to do formulas and calculations for billing and coding, I think, a little bit. I had to organize stuff. And that Excel spreadsheet, what it is we want to learn new things, but sometimes you waste time. Excel, I sat there all day trying to figure out how to do it. It took me an hour and a half. Actually, ended up getting a C on my project because I was so behind until I had to ask somebody to help me as well. So the reason why I'm very open about sharing all of these AI tools is because, number one, you can't do everything. Some of you will take it, grab it, and then it's cool, and then you'll move on to the next thing. And it's great to experiment with. It doesn't mean that you have to do it. It's just something that is in your tank that you can kind of pull out when you need it. But at the same time as well, is if you are going to do it, find someone that can sit down and train you. If not, you're going to sit there and try to figure out all day long. Some people, I can pick up on this stuff like, listen, I was born in the garage with my dad. Like, I love tech. I've been doing tech for years. So all I have to do is watch a YouTube and go right through it, whereas a lot of you probably don't understand it. And another thing I'm going to add as well, when we talk about Clubhouse and these communities and these forums, we are still ahead of everybody else, because while everyone had just discovered ChatGPT, I was on Jarvis.ai and Copy.ai way before ChatGPT, but then it became a big deal on Clubhouse and everyone was like, oh, ChatGPT, but we're on Clubhouse and everybody else isn't. So you have the opportunity to learn these skills yourself and teach it to the people who aren't aware of the AI tools. And which is another reason, Coach, why I charge, because I'm teaching you to make money for yourself. So if I'm going to teach you something that you're going to make millions of dollars off of, it's not fair for me to charge you for doing it for free.
Why shouldn't you charge? Because here's what we don't have a problem with. We have no problem paying $500-$600. Y'all put it in the chat. Those of you guys who have college degrees, give me a number for a class that you paid for in a semester, just one class. Give me a number, put it in the chat. You got a degree, right? Or maybe you're in school right now. Give me the cost of a class, one class. Now, I'm not even talking about the college semester for the whole course. Like it cost me X amount of dollars for a class. Put that number in the chat. See, that's what I'm talking about. That part right there. We have zero problems with dropping that kind of money. Who has $6,500 a daggone class to pay in order to, who has that? And here's the problem. And I know I'm passionate about this and I know I'm on a soapbox. The problem I have is that we as people are being held back because of our own lack of knowledge, and we're perpetrating a fraud on us. We're perpetuating is the other word I was looking for. This process, y'all, that ain't benefiting us. Stop it. Cherie laughing, Rocky laughing. $3,400. I am sick.
This is like when the passion come out, he can't speak. Like,
listen,
I do the same thing, Coach. I stutter when I'm excited.
I can't even take it. $3,400 for a daggone class. Tessie Watts. And I got a problem. Look. Because y'all don't, now we feel like, I don't know if I can charge. And I got to get my little $197 course out there. Y'all better get out of my face. Come on, Cherie.
Yeah, it's I'm sorry, I'm cracking up at you. But the thing too is, and I want to caution people, no, you may not learn this for you to do it, but this is one of the biggest mistakes I see a lot of business owners. You don't even put your hands on it enough to understand it so that you can then, even if you hire somebody to do it, you need to have some understanding of whatever the program, the app, whatever it is. So just play in it enough so that you gain some understanding. You don't have to learn it to the full. You don't have to spend hours like me or Rocky just sitting here in it, because I get sucked into it because I'm like her. I soak it up and I'm like, ooh, I learned a new feature. Ooh, let me figure out how this does. But that's me. And so like Glenn's not going to do all of what I do in it, but he's familiar enough with it that he can say, hey, he can come to me now and say, hey, can you do this or create this? Because now he's familiar, but he kind of knows what it does enough that he can now direct me and say, hey, can you create this? Or can you do this? Or can you, so you have to gain some understanding. So don't let your fear of it, like, oh my God, I could never do that, to cause you to not at least put your hands on it. Then once you touch it, you realize, okay, this is cool, but I can't do this. Call Rocky, get in her course, or call her and find out who can you hire to get to do it for you, whatever you need to do. But you got to be familiar with it. And that's one of the things with a lot of programs, especially for business owners, you won't even touch it. And then when you do get to the point where you can hire somebody to come in and do it, you can't direct them. And this is I'm going to get on a rant for a second. One of my pet peeves with websites, with landing pages, people will pay thousands and thousands of dollars for somebody to build their website. They have access to it. You as the business owner don't have, you can't even go in and change the text because you haven't touched the thing. And you have spent all this money on something that you have no access to, you have no control over, because you just completely hand something off to somebody. That is a waste of money in your business. You have to be able to direct people in whatever it is you want them to do. And the only way you can direct them is that you have to be familiar with what it is you're trying to direct them to do.
Sheree, I got to jump in there. Lynette, you'll understand my pain. James, you'll understand this. How many of you guys have watched people pay money for people to edit things for them, and they have no idea how that process works? And so when you come to an editor and you say, I want you to edit this hour, 2 hour, 3 hours worth of footage, you are literally going to pay that person to sit down and go through that thing from start to finish. And because you have no idea of what you want, you give it to them and say, tell me what you think. What do y'all know that's costing you money? Do you realize that because you don't have the ability to give them direction, they are going to charge you for sitting there and thinking for you? As opposed to you having an idea. You know what? Here is what I'm thinking. I want to do this. They call it, go Google storyboards and how to put them together. I never will forget the first time that I did a public talk and I had someone film it for me. And the editor was overseas. She was a young lady in college, went to play college basketball for Australia on the professional ranks, but she also edited on the side. So I had her edit myself. But do you know how much money I saved? I could have paid probably thousands of dollars to have a project edited that cost me $700 because I knew how to direct her through it. I gave her, this is the clip. I listened to it. I gave her the time codes, all of that, because those are things I learned in another life, doing business in another life. So the point I'm making is that your knowledge of a subject will save you money. And so I'm not trying to make you do things you don't want to do, but I'm going to promise you this, unless you're independently wealthy, you're going to pay for it one way or the other. And I just want you guys to embrace that you need a who, not a how. I'm going to talk about that in depth today, Rocky, on your show, in your room.
Okay.
We're going to get into that. Come on.
Yeah, a quick example that you guys can probably relate to. How many of you have hired an ads manager and don't know a thing about ads? And you're paying, and they're saying, I don't know why the results. Give me $200 more. I don't know why the results. Give me $600 more. I don't know why the results, but you keep paying them. Why? Because you don't understand ads yourself. Bruh. So if you understood ads, like I know ads like the back of my hand, right? So I can hire somebody now because I can monitor it and know exactly what it is. So it's exactly what Coach Sheree and Coach Glenn said. You have to have some slight knowledge, at least try. And then if you can't, then move forward with hiring somebody or getting someone to help you.
Yeah, this has been a great day. Y'all, I'm going to be in Rocky's house later on this afternoon, 3 p.m. Eastern. And I'm going to go into depth on the lessons that I learned by identifying a who, not a how. It has helped me scale my business on a level that is sometimes scary for me because I never wanted to be an entrepreneur. I know entrepreneurs that have wanted to work for themselves all their little life, and they can't quite get off their 9-to-5s, and they do a great job with a product on their side hustle, but they could never make it their main thing because they didn't learn how to scale. And I'm going to teach you some principles around scaling that's going to change your trajectory. We're going to talk for about 30 minutes, and we'll give you guys some opportunities to ask me some questions. But I want to talk about that because, Rocky, I am passionate about this idea. And maybe it's because, as I'm getting older, I'm realizing I got more life behind me than I do in front of me. No, this is not code for I'm terminally ill. This is truth. because of a chronological timeline. It is highly unlikely that I'm going to live another 57 years. Does that make sense? So I'm on the other side of this equation. I don't know, Rock, maybe it's just me, but the older I get, the more I realize I don't have any time. I have no more time to waste. As my coach would say, I have tricked off enough time over my lifetime to really, I don't have time to do things that I'm not good at, that are not bringing me a significant return on my investment. And here's the thing I know about time. I don't own it. And so therefore I can't control it. But if you listen to me this afternoon, I'm going to teach you some things to teach you how to capture it just long enough to manipulate it so that you can get it to behave. And I'll give you this one analogy and we'll get ready to roll. Do you realize a sailboat can't control the wind, but it can manipulate it? And that's what the sails are for. The wind is going to do what it do. You can't control the wind. You didn't create it. You're not going to be able to control it. However, if you become a master at mastering that sail, you can manipulate that sail to give you momentum behind the wind that's already blowing. And that's the principle that I'm talking about. I'm not talking about controlling something you can't control, but I am talking about mastering the things that you can control so that you can get out of your own way. Sure, you got something you want to add real quick?
No, this was a great show. Thanks, Rocky.
You're welcome. I just want to add really quickly. Sharon on YouTube said she just joined the Content Creation Bootcamp. So thank you, Sharon, for joining. That was not the intent. but yes, I appreciate you, and you're going to get so much information.
Listen, Rocky is a beast at what she does, y'all. And I keep telling her I am selfishly angling for her to come here to Panama for a little bit. Just so that, listen, even if it's just for the dry season.
Just feed me, man.
December, January, February, March, and you can go home, right? I will feed you, but we can create some stuff here, Rocky. I just need you on the ground. There are so many people, Rocky, that are so far behind the curve here because Panama is one of those countries that because the military was here for so very long, and you'll remember when there was a base here, these people are very United States driven and focused and minded. And although technology here is not where it is for us in the US, the drive for them to learn is. And they are like, yo, so I have already I got a translator. I got 3 or 4 different people that on a moment's notice, I can call them to translate. Look, I don't have any problems navigating. Y'all hear me? I'm learning the language.
I'm getting my passport at the end of the month. So listen, I'll be on it.
Get it all the way together. Help me. Did y'all get value out of today's show? Come on, talk to me. Put it in the chat. What value did you get out of today's show? Put it in the chat. Here's what I will do. Sheree and I are going to come back next week, tomorrow rather. And we're going to talk to you guys on Face It Friday. And Sheree, I really want to go into the depths of really moving with community in mind. Does that make sense? We're going to talk a lot about that. I know for many of you guys, you literally don't have a community can help you grow. And as a result, you're kind of out there, right? And we're going to talk about relationally how growing in community will change the game for you. 7:28 minutes after 7 o'clock here in Panama City, Panama. I'm Glenn P. Brooks Jr. That's it. That's all it is. The morning show. We are here. We'll be back tomorrow, Face It Friday. I'll be on Rocky's platform this afternoon in her house. If you haven't followed the Social with Rocky, excuse me. Sorry about that. If you haven't followed the Social with Rocky house on Clubhouse, do that so that you can figure out where I'll be at 3 o'clock this afternoon. I want to talk to you guys about the title of the room today is You Need a Who, Not a How. That's the title, right? You need a who, not a how. And just because I know it's Rocky and that's my flamingo sister, I'm going to tell her one more time. Rock, the name of the room for this afternoon. Come on. Help me. You need a who, not a how. And I'm going to teach you guys some principles that I've learned to help me scale my business to some crazy heights. Just been crazy. Running around the room. Good to see everybody in the room. Robert, Mama Schultz in the building. Tammy is here. Alexis, I love you guys. Appreciate y'all for pulling up. Travis Michelle in the building. Dr. Pam. Why Regina's still here. Alicia, love you, girl. Appreciate you for pulling up today. Phil Hill, my guy, down since day one. Good to see you, bro. Jill Hines is in the building. Takia, thanks for your participation. I saw that chat earlier, Takia. Let me find out Takia on her device typing up things, putting it in the chat. Stephanie, good to see you. Sean, good to see you. Marty, appreciate you for pulling up, guys. That's it. At the end of the day, here's what we know to be true. You can't get to any place of significance by yourself because we all need some help. I'll see you guys this afternoon on this app in Social with Rocky's house. Cherie and I will be back tomorrow. Face It Friday. And for the rest of you guys, we'll see you when we see you. Y'all be good. The room will end when the music does. KBCN TV, thank you so much for our partnership. Appreciate all of you guys on Facebook, LinkedIn, and YouTube. Do me a favor, guys. Hug somebody. Smile today. Listen, not only will you feel better, but you'll attract people as opposed to repelling. And you have no idea how far a smile will go because you never know what people are going through. Cherie, you got something?
Rocky, I was trying to give you a hug.
I'm over here texting you back. Look, Cherie Brooks. Bring it in.
Bring it in. Let's go.
So much better when you
Lynette Jackson, it's so good to have you up on stage. I'm hugging you, girl.
so much better when you
It was a year ago. We was hanging out in Orlando, and now look at God. I had no idea we'd be in Panama City, Panama a year later, Lynette. Ain't that something? And I had no idea that you would lose a whole person. You look good, girl.
You did that. I need the secrets.
Right.
Over 70 pounds. So
Oh,
God is
man.
good. I can tell y'all, I can help you.
Let's go. We need it. That's a masterclass. Y'all be good. We'll see you back tomorrow. Lord willing, and the creek don't rise. This room will end in 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Y'all be good, and we love you. We appreciate y'all. We'll see you tomorrow.